we don't know like to any extent of damage or nothing. So,
well, obviously the power's out there.
oh yeah, and there's no cell service, no internet, nothing. It's 1800s down there, so they do
Where
not
exactly is
have.
she at?
She lives in a town called. She's outside of a town called Silva, North Carolina. So,
Okay.
and so like Franklin and Silva, where I grew up. I didn't grow up in Silva. Don't say that out loud. Franklin is did not get directly hit. It was so like okay, so for hurricane, oh yeah, I gotta rig it up to where we can see if people's commenting.
Bordy, bordy, bordy. The Swedish chef.
Oh,
Showing my age here. Bordy, bordy, bordy.
We'll wait till people comment to show the overlay. So the eye of the hurricane is the wall of the hurricane is obviously the most dangerous. So in the northern hemisphere, what we deal with hurricanes, the eastern wall, the northeast. Of course, I'm backwards to you, but like the northeast is the worst. That is the worst part of it, and so as you get farther away from it, there's less power, but still there. But you want to be on the west side of the hurricane, not on the east side of the hurricane. So, fortunately, the town that I'm in was on the west side of what was left of that hurricane. But man, if you've seen anything about North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, the last few days has been insane. And there's it's not getting a lot of national attention. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, so of course nobody really cares, unfortunately. Right. I want to check on here. Ain't nobody watching yet, so. What's cool though is that nobody's watching now, but everybody can watch it later. So, but anyway, so everybody is accounted for except for one ant. And
as far as we turns out soon, man.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know so that we can, we can do it.
It's funny how the media is not, covering any of that stuff.
I mean,
they're up here. We no idea what's going on.
So the funny thing was, like a couple years ago, we had like a Category 4 hurricane hit right, went right over the eye of it, went right over my house, and and it just kind of went up in North Louisiana and Arkansas, kind of just flittered away. Tons of damage. It was horrible. Hurricane Laura, and then nobody really talked about it. Well, the next year, a much smaller hurricane hit New Orleans, and it worked its way all the way up to New York somehow. And it caused all kinds of damage up there. But it wasn't near what we dealt with. But the one that hit us didn't hit a major city, so it doesn't get talked about as much.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. We were supposed to get some kind of remnants of it up here today via rain, but we didn't see anything. Right. Upstate New York, no, but I don't know about the coast. No, the Jets game looked pretty wet.
I love watching football when it's snowing or it's wet.
Well, now they're becoming soft. If it starts raining hard, they stop. It's like baseball. Yeah. Yep. It's raining too hard, chance of lightning. Stop playing.
Go on your
gridiron.
Go on your Facebook and share the 04 level to your personal Facebook, so people might.
I already did.
Oh, you already did it?
I already did it.
You already did it?
Done did it. Did it
done and done. So I have recently found where you can turn. Hey, if you're watching, let us know how it sounds. If it sounds good, too loud, not loud enough, hop on there. Tell us who's watching, and also tell us if we need to turn it up, turn it down, too loud, whatever. Let us know. Anyway,
turn it up.
So recently, I have discovered dark mode on things. I'm a fan. I promise. And they did it for saving battery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan. I like it. I like it a lot.
Dark mode for this?
Everything. TikTok, on
your phone.
Oh, for everything. Screens, all of it. I can't show you, but right here. But
all I'll see is your eyes and your teeth.
All you see is my eyes and teeth.
Yeah, in dark mode.
Not like that. You know what I'm
No.
talking.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about.
you talking about?
Well, it's not doing it now. Anyhow, hey, somebody's got a. Oh, anyway, put that down. So the other night we sit down with Norman Norrid, talk to him. For those of you who are listening,
Good
and
old Norm Norred.
I have not edited that episode yet, so hope to do that when we get off here.
That was a good episode.
I thought so. I thought it was pretty good. I was a little apprehensive. I didn't know how it was going to work, but it did really good. I wasn't sure how that would pan out, but it did.
Why were you apprehensive?
Well, so I'm not like, I don't hate Norm. I didn't hate him. Never hated him. I didn't dislike him. Never disliked him. But it wasn't like in a crowded room. I didn't ever felt like I was the one. He would be the one I'd go to and to talk to. You know, like, and so I don't know how 20 years ago, 21 to 22 years ago, whatever it was. I don't know how people took me then. And I'm just like, how are they going to handle this conversation? Because if I didn't go out of my way to talk to people, then my brain thinks, oh, they probably don't think that I'm not wanting to talk to them or anything. So
Right.
I don't know. I do that kind of crap in my head. So I didn't know how it was. And he was true to form. He has not missed a lick. He made fun of me just like he would have if it was 25 years ago. So like,
well, there's one thing you can count on when it comes to Norm. Norm will be Norm no matter what. You know,
for sure.
He's very true to himself.
He looked good. I was surprised. Like he's looking old, but he's not.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens. You know,
yeah,
you look old, but you don't.
Right.
Man, you look like you live some life.
Yeah, I feel like it sometimes. I got this little thing on my eyeball. This little like tag. It's like, I don't know what it is. Cholesterol is what somebody said. See that thing? Yeah, that's what somebody said. That's what that was.
Yeah, it's hardly noticeable.
Oh, it drives me crazy. I hate it. But
no, look at this. Maybe it's just like a skin tag or something.
Yeah,
easily fixed.
Yeah.
No, my issue is hair, losing it up here and gaining it back here.
Ooh, growth like Bianco.
Yeah, I know.
That was hairy, dude.
Hairy, like animal.
But so did you have a good week?
Week was okay, man. Week was okay. It was busy, dude. You know, it just seemed like kind of like boot camp. They say the weeks drag. I mean, the days drag, but the weeks fly. Kind of what happened this week, man. You know, it's every day. It was just like, oh my gosh. When's it gonna stop? When's it gonna stop? And all of a sudden, we're here right now. So it flew by, but the days were really dragging. But next weekend, Luke's got another baseball tournament in Cortland, New York. That's south of me. His last one, so looking forward to that.
How far is that from you?
Yeah, 45 minutes. It's not that far. The complex there is unreal, man. They just built two more fields. They want it to be like the northeast, like mecca of baseball. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
build more.
Why not?
Just more money, making money, man.
Syracuse. I'm looking at you on the map here.
Right dead middle in the state.
That's pretty slick. It's crazy. Like, so you're, according to this, you're, a few miles from the lake there, the big lake. Is that
Ontario?
So being that, Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Being that you're from there, is that a place y'all went like as kids? Did y'all go to the beach and just? I mean, when we were younger, those were dirtier. They've cleaned them up a lot. The
beaches here, the beaches here are really dirty. I mean, it's just
even now.
Yeah. I mean, I live 3 miles away from the dirtiest lake in the world, most polluted lake in the world. But also, New York is home to one of the cleanest lakes in the world, so we get best of both worlds. Skinny Atlas Lake is one of the cleanest. That's where some of us get our drinking water, believe it or not. Sweet. And Onondaga Lake is the most polluted. So
Onondaga. That's in the middle of town, though. That's probably why.
Yeah, a
According
lot
to
of
the map
things
here.
happened back in the day when we were like the hub of New York State. Everything went through Syracuse, especially before like mass transportation.
Yeah.
It was train and went right through Syracuse. There was 13 tracks in Syracuse, New York, of just trains. We were like the hub for everything. So there's a lot of industry and a lot of
Yeah.
pollution. We used to dumping right there in the lake. So that's what happened. Apparently, they cleaned it. You can eat one fish out of there per year. So
Yeah.
progress, progress, my friend.
So I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not eating that fish out of there. Period.
No.
If I can only eat one a year, I'm not doing it.
Mm-mm.
So in Louisiana, the ground's so saturated. It's soaking wet. Like you can, even in the dry spell, you can probably dig down about 2 feet and there's water. Like everywhere you go. And trees that grow, like we have the cypress trees and such as that grow in the swamps and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
So you can tell by the type of grass, by the color of certain grass, especially when it's a drought and that grass is still green, that ground's wet over there. But anyway, so septic systems here are a lot different than where I'm from, even because you can't just do drain fills because the entire drain field will be full of water.
Right.
So it's like, what's the point? So you have your tank, then you have a second tank, and then it pumps it from one to the other, and then it has a sprinkler system, so it just through your yard in the backyard. And they say you can drink that water, but I'm not. I'm not worried
Okay,
about
so let me get this straight. What you just told me was that your sewage comes into a tank, gets filtered into another tank, and then that tank distributes it through to your land through a sprinkler system.
it. Right.
And
Some
they say you can
parishes,
drink it?
they say you can, but nobody does.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I've
drink it.
never met anybody who has.
I wouldn't drink
But
that.
like, so a lot of the, and it sounds disgusting, but it works. And so we have a lot of like trailer parks here. Obviously,
Mhm.
we're in the southern. We're poor, um, and there are a lot of those trailer parks have cesspools in the back. And I've thought about like, and what's crazy, you'll be right on top of one. It's a cesspool. It's right there. You'll see water flowing in it, moving around, but you don't smell it at all. Like there's no smell. But then you get near a city, and you get near the sewer system, and you're like, I'm near the sewer system.
Oh
So
yeah, it stinks.
yeah, it's horrible.
Stinks. Okay, so basically you down there, you fellers down there, you wear muck boots a lot.
Yes, muck boots is the no. Well, so lacrosse boots are the popular boot, the boot of choice. Muck boots are here, and people wear them. I've worn them for years, but I've recently bought a pair of lacrosse boots, and I don't think I'm ever going back to muck boots.
Really?
They're cheaper and they're not insulated, and most of your muck boots are are thicker and more insulated. Are you familiar with what a lacrosse boot is?
I knew nope. If you have muck boots up here, yeah, that's basically what we wear
Yeah,
is muck boots. So
I don't even know how to
never
spell
heard
it.
of lacrosse boot.
LACR. Oh yes,
We play lacrosse, the game.
you're the one that taught me the history behind that game.
Yes.
Lacrosse rubber boots. I haven't since we've been doing this with Restream instead of going to StreamYard. I have not tried any of this sharing stuff, so I want to try that if that's okay with you. Play with it.
Go for it.
Share screen. Is it Amazon? I'm on Amazon. Yep, I sure am. Share that.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So they're insulated. They're not insulated. You can get them insulated, but like so, and they're tall. These are much taller. They go up to the knee, to the bottom of the knee, and so to me that's more comfortable.
A lot of
Oh,
guys up here wear them fishing. We call them waders.
how do I get it off of there?
Just the boots, waders. Never named them lacrosse boots, but
Well, lacrosse is the brand. See,
oh gosh.
lacrosse Grange hunting boots for men, and they actually have the ones that go up to. Oh, get you back. Okay, I gotta figure this out. Don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay. I'm reading and learning about lacrosse boots.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, I'm
Only
trying
98
to figure out how to turn it off.
actually not bad.
I don't know how to turn it back away from where it was.
There you go.
That's not it.
That's not it.
Hide.
We're working it out here. There we go.
Yes, but it's still there, so I gotta.
Kick on.
Anyhow, I gotta figure this out. I'm playing. Rob McCavanagh commented on my post. Rob, if you're watching, let us know how he sounds. Somebody's watching, and I don't like it that I can't tell who's watching. It kind of stinks because then I could like talk to them and engage with them, but probably say something stupid.
It's okay.
So they do make the lacrosse boots that go all the way up to the crotch and all the way up to the hook
chest.
onto your belt. And so they're individual. There's two separate ones, and then you strap them. There's like a little snap. You snap them together. That way they don't separate from each other. And I have really thought about them before and getting those, but I've never done it because I just never did. So
how often does it rain down there? Every day?
No. So like in Florida, they get the humidity is through the roof, crazy, stupid, but it rains every day. In Hawaii, it rains every day. In Louisiana, you get that really high humidity and that real intense craziness of humidity, and then it just don't rain. And for 4 or 5 days, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds, and it just gets miserable.
Right. You can tell when it rains up here if your back starts hurting or your ankle hurts.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's gonna rain.
I don't really have that problem. I don't really know. I know a lot of people who feel that, but they don't necessarily. I do not know how to get that to go away. It don't matter. You can't see it, but I can. It's driving crazy.
Kirkman's here.
Oh yes, Joe Kirkman.
Right here.
Joe Hurt. How we sound, Joe? Does it sound bad? I thought of Joe the other day. I think it's funny how
Joe he's gonna leave soon because he has to put his sons to bed. How many sons do you have, Joe?
What are you reading at?
It's right up here to the right. I see you on the left, me in the center, and then this whole little.
Joe's watching. We'll be leaving soon to have to put his. Well, come back. Come back. You can come back. If you got a webcam, you can come back home. We'll talk to you.
Turn it on.
It's funny how, like, Herkman was like, he was such an important part of my life. Like, he's hilarious. He was fun to talk to. He's easy to talk to. He wasn't like arrogant, but he was arrogant when it was necessary. He was funny with it, but he was like just a cool dude. And the slightest thing, every once in a while, I'll be thinking, hey, look, there's Herkman in my mind, thinking about him. I'll tell a story myself and then, continue on with it. Jason Oliver. He's got, and then them boys look just like Joe too. It's funny.
Does he? Do they? Oh, poor kids. Those poor little kids.
I figured it out. Stop sharing. Oh, I could do it like these.
I'm glad, man. I got 4 boys. 2 of them are old, 2 of them are young.
We went and saw Peyton and Sam at college the other day. Hung out with them for a little bit. They're good.
Yeah. Are they liking it? They're settling down on their own?
Yeah. I'm proud of them. They're doing really good. Peyton's funny because like when she was a baby, she was the like life of the party, and then something happened and she just kind of flipped the switch and it's like she's more reserved. She keeps to herself, and that was like. I guess Christina says it was when adolescence started, and it could have been. I don't know the dates like that.
Right.
He said the little one looks like his wife. But anyway, so now she's like Chatty Cathy. When we go down there, she's just in the back of the car, just rah, 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 the whole time, which is fun. It's cool to hear her talking. It's been a while, So in Louisiana they have parishes, not counties.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of weird, but it takes a while to get used to not saying county when you move here. But
is it like that all down south? Like
no, just the state, just Louisiana.
Just Louisiana?
Yep. And there was a part of
I would think like Alabama and stuff would be like that too.
So Louisiana is very Catholic. And
okay.
that's a Catholic thing. That's Like there at one time, the story goes that there was one person or one church per area, and then that church became the it was a church. Catholic churches called parishes, and so different parishes. But so then it's a tradition thing, you know, because we can't get away from tradition to save our life. And so now I live in Beauregard Parish, and
What?
Beauregard,
Beauregard?
General Beauregard. He was a general during the, I believe, Civil War or 1812 War. He was from Louisiana, though. He's from down near New Orleans. So
How far are you from the place that makes the tobacco sauce?
Tabasco. Oh, Avery Island. My youngest boy just went. My wife, Christina, and Andrew just went down there. I think it's like Avery Island. I believe it's in Lafayette. So it's like probably 2.5 hours.
Is it true that it's really an island that they make that stuff at?
So it is. It is. If a flood comes, it's going to fill up the moat around it, and it'll be an island.
Gotcha.
Okay. If it doesn't rain for 6 months, you can walk right to it without getting wet. But it's kind of interesting. It technically is an island in the sense of, and I don't know. I don't know if it's all man made because I've never actually been there. All the years of my kids going to Avery Island, that's kind of a rite of passage for Louisiana kids going on field trips to go to Avery Island. So
it's okay. I mean, it's.
I don't like Tabasco.
I lived in New York. I've never been to the city.
Really, man. Okay, so let me tell you a story.
I have no wanting to go to New York City.
I was in Puerto Rico working, and I flew from Puerto Rico to Houston, and of course had to go through LA or LA. Listen to me, had to go through New York. Went through what's that airport? It's in New Jersey.
LaGuardia?
No, Newark.
JFK?
Newark.
Okay.
And so I was like, I had a 5-hour layover, and I'm walking around the airport. I'm just bored, and it was nighttime, and there's not a lot of people there. And I looked over. I got to the end of a terminal and was a concourse area and was going to turn around and come back. And I looked through the glass. I see the glass. There's me. I see myself walking up to the, in the glass. And then you know how your eyes just kind of focus on what's beyond the glass. And I saw the skyline of New York City. And that's the first time I'd ever seen that. And I was like, that's pretty cool. You know, like to see the skyline. There's the Empire State Building. And then the weight of, you know, there was a man standing here or somebody was standing here and watching them towers hit and burn. Like it was heavy. I had to get away from it. And then I had to, when we went on that trip, we went up there to Suffering, New York to work. And I was just, we were like, man, we're just working. There's tons of people everywhere. And I said to one guy, I said, how far are we from the city? And he goes, well, he said, as the crow flies, you know, like as from here to like the Empire State Building is like 20 miles. And I'm like, holy crap, man. If you're within 20 miles of Atlanta, you're in the city. And it was crazy to be that close to it and not even know you were there. But it was, and you couldn't hear it either. That's what's crazy. You would think you'd be able to hear all that. But of course, I'm half deaf.
So Brian Delheimer's here.
Delheimer is in
You know, he's called me a couple times, and I'm the idiot that hasn't called him back yet. Sorry, buddy. I'll give you a jingle. Promise.
Yeah, just keep on. How we sound? Is it too loud, too quiet? Is one too loud, one too quiet? I'm wondering also, like, since, because, you know, we're figuring this stuff out. I wonder how it sounds, if your sound's going straight into it, or if it's coming here first and going straight into it. You think there'd be a delay if it did? I think you're probably transferring straight in.
Brian said we all look old.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, my friend.
How do you block somebody? I'm just
Did I say I was going to call him back? Nah. It's funny, brother. Believe me. I may look old, but I feel a hell of a lot older.
Oh, man. I just think about throwing a baseball. My shoulder hurts. But
I saw my kid running the other day. I was like, man, I wish I could do that again. I wish I could
I
do
like
that.
watching people jump over fences or jump, like stand flat footed and jump in the back of a truck. I'm like, oh man, I haven't done that in 20 years. I didn't know you could do that anymore. Like, so, truth. Yep, that's the way it goes. Though that's okay though. It's life. It gets older. You get
So,
older.
Brian and Joe, we talked to Norm our last podcast. Said, sorry, back pain. John has to edit it, and he's gonna put it out here shortly. He was a good guest. He was a really good guest. A lot of good information about the VA and everything like that. He'd be proud of the little guy. He's done well for himself.
Yeah, and he's had a really interesting time in the military after we left him. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Him and Steve kind of went down the same path.
Yeah.
You said that before. They both were working on some kind of vessels or something like that.
Yeah, that water vessel. Yeah. That's pretty interesting to hear him tell that story. Like, so don't want to give it away. Let y'all listen.
Yes. We sound good, Brian says.
Good. This is cool. It's pretty cool. Like, here's the same guys here's Liz, me, you, Brian, and Joe. Same people who would have been smoking on the 04 Level Aft.
Yep.
A long time ago. So
crazy.
We were discussing
Brian's 100% disabled. Well, we knew that when we started with you, bro. We know when we started with you. Here comes
oh, dude, I was trying to. You beat me to it. I was like,
that was
Brian, you need a webcam. Oh, also,
that's a good idea, Brian. Next time, go live with us, dude.
Yeah.
I really want Joe to, but I don't think he will.
I think Joe will. We just have to turn his gain up because remember he talked really quiet. Like, I can't hear you, Joe.
Watch it, dude.
I'm sure there's a huge delay in the I want to throw up a QR code for you guys if you guys wanted to donate to our Cash App. That'll help us with. There's some stuff we want to do. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat how this works out. You have a whole setup.
Well then, maybe we need to talk about getting you on, bud.
For sure.
I'd love to know what the hell you've been up to, dude. Past 20 years.
He works at a very cool place, last I remember. So, I want to ask you a question. I want to steer this.
Yeah. Me or Brian?
Jay.
Okay. All right.
So, does your son do travel ball? Have you done travel? Do you do travel ball?
My son's done travel ball since he was like 7.
So I read in a Sports Illustrated type magazine. I read in a Sports Illustrated type magazine that travel ball does not help boys, or does not help girls get into college, like in softball. It helps girls make the high school team, but it doesn't help them get into college. Where travel ball doesn't help boys make the high school team, it would help them make college.
Now, I mean, maybe it's just where you are geographically in the nation, because you have places, well, you have places down south that they play ball all year round. Up here, because of the climate, we only have 3 or 4 months out of the year where they can actually, showcase their skills.
Do y'all have a lot of fields with the artificial dirt and grass?
We just had a couple in Cortland that I told you about where Luke's going to have a tournament next weekend. They just built a couple more turf fields. Yeah. So, and what's really cool about a couple of them is that their outfields are heated. So still, if it's really cold, there's some ice on the ground, they can play a little bit. But you don't want to play when it's that cold, especially when you're dealing with like aluminum bats and all that stuff. They can crack easier and stuff. But well, Brian coaches high school baseball.
Okay.
He is a jack of all trades.
I mean, I'm just telling you what I read. And I just know how expensive. Well, so we were looking into it because my youngest daughter is a really good athlete. and they were trying to get her to do travel ball, but we were just looking at how expensive it is, because you got to, between the fees, and then you got to drag all your kids, even the
Absolutely.
ones that don't play have to go, and they never play in town. They always, because you travel, obviously. So it's not like they're, but the funny thing is, like around here, the travel is always in Kaplan or in New Orleans or in Shreveport, and that's, too far to come home and go back. No, it was not on the internet. It was in the magazine. Which, I mean, how reliable are magazines anymore? I mean, they're written by the
That's
same
as
people.
reliable as the media news,
Yeah.
you know.
Nope.
But I think anytime playing ball, the chance to play ball is good, you know. So it's funny because Luke's played travel ball and high school ball, middle school ball. Whenever
Yeah.
any team he could play, he played. And especially the travel ball, we went to camps down in Georgia, Virginia,
Dang,
West.
y'all went all the way down there?
Oh yeah, West Virginia. Luke actually played for Team New York. He got picked out of 25 kids in New York State, 15 of which are just pitchers only. I'm sorry,
Golly.
10. 10 it was only pitchers only. So 15 position players he got picked to go down and play at Georgia to his place called Future Games and to represent New York State. And there was tons of college coaches there, just tons and tons and tons. And Luke just got committed to Lemoyne, which is a local school. It's a D1 school. So he's going to play D1 ball. That's all he's ever wanted. But it's funny because all these travel places that we went to, all these camps and everything didn't mean a lick.
Yeah.
Because the Lemoyne college coach saw him play in a pickup game in fall ball.
Yeah, right. Not even what you would expect.
Exactly. We spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands. Did I say thousands of dollars on baseball? And he picked up he was at a pickup game playing in fall ball, and that's where they saw him. Crazy.
Right.
So, I mean, he's blessed that he got looked at because there's tons of kids who just don't get looked at and they work their butts off. But I don't know. Brian would probably know a lot too, being a high school coach. I don't know if college coaches look at travel or they look basically at school ball. So
I think that I don't. I would hope that they're not looking at how much you do, but how good you are, like, or your talent. Like, so do you guys? I want to know, because I'm sure
thanks, Joe. That is pretty cool.
in the southern world, I would imagine, or the small town world, I should say. I don't know if it's just southern. I'm sure small town New York same way. If you don't have the right last name, it's hard to get on the team. And talent's irrelevant. It depends on what your last name is. And that really hurts a lot of the kids. You can see them. I umpired for a few years, and I remember watching. Like, I got pushed out of umpiring simply because there was this thing called the rule book, and I was really stickler about actually going by what that thing said, and people didn't like that.
Well,
So
I mean, I commend you to even try to do that because
I love it, man.
all it would take for some parent that knows everything to scream at me, and I'm coming over the fence. It's just I
So
commend you.
my very first game or day, it was like opening day. I had it set up. I had a friend in the stands, and the plan was for him to start chirping and get loud and vocal and start getting rude in the third inning, and I was going to kick him out. That was the plan. So I was going to set a standard. I wanted them to know that I was okay to do it. He was seriously, he was there. And at the end of the first inning, I kicked the mom out for dropping F-bombs. And so after a few minutes, I turned around and looked at him and I said, "Hey, Patrick," I said, "I don't need you. You can go." And he goes, "Okay, I'm just going to sit here and watch. This is fun." So, that's
That's crazy.
I kick them out. I don't care. Like,
you're out of here.
So I did read. I had a man tell me, and then I read it once, that preachers make really bad umpires, and
I can see that.
because we are so strict about scripture that, and so we take that strictness to the rule book too. So,
yeah, perfect game tournaments. Yeah, I'm just reading it now, Brian. It just came through. I think the messaging could be a little delayed.
oh yeah, well, Adam said it was last time. So There's, I'm gonna see. There might be taking my
Oh
daughter
yeah.
to the ER right now. So
What?
she has. I think she's got strep throat or something.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
Christina's just texted me and said, "Should I take her to the ER?" I'm like, "If you're going to do it, it'd be better to go now."
Yeah, we
Tom
can
Brady
always.
fired back at Baker Mayfield.
Well, I mean, you can hate Tom Brady.
I do.
And
I
yeah,
don't,
you
but I
can.
do.
Dude, 7
Yeah.
Super Bowl wins and how many appearances?
What, 9 or 10 appearances? He lost 3 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
So
So it's
10
like
Super Bowls. 10 Super
he's
Bowls. There's what, 50? No. Yeah, 57, 58 Super Bowls. He's been to 10 of them.
yeah,
Pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, you got hate
Is
him, but
your
he's
phone
good.
dinging?
That's my phone dinging. Yeah. Let me turn it off.
I didn't know. Make sure it's not you. No, I mean, hey, I don't have a problem. I don't hate the guy. I
Right.
mean, I respect it. He's one of the greatest. I don't know that I would say he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, I would give him much more. I'd give him much more respect to being the greatest quarterback of all time, way before I put LeBron James as the greatest basketball player of all time.
Oh God, LeBron's not even close. I,
He's
I
number.
hate.
He's not even in my top five, and
No.
I don't know nothing about basketball.
Mm,
I know enough to not put him in my top five.
nope. Nope. LeBron is not the best ever.
So the Braves have to play a doubleheader tomorrow. The wild card race in the National League is the Padres are locked in as a wild card, and the Braves, the Mets, and the Diamondbacks are basically tied. And I don't know. Let me text my wife real fast.
Tua is the greatest. Brian, dude, I'm telling you what, right now.
Rod can just turn off this thing right
Well,
now. He's getting on my nerves.
I'm just saying that if the Miami coach doesn't turn around and say, "Listen, you've got to retire," something's wrong.
Did he play today?
I don't know. I think they play tomorrow, but yeah, you can't have concussions like that, man. He seized. Those are bad concussions. He can't do that and play this game. You can't do it. I know that's his livelihood and he loves it and everything like that, but dude, if I'm a race car driver, okay, and I crash 3 times, should I
So
drive?
well, do you watch racing? Or are you just using it as an
I'm
example?
just saying. I'm
Because Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I don't watch racing. What in the world?
You can go to urgent care.
To his press conference. Oh boy.
What does that mean? I don't know. Did he? Oh, did he see he's typing that out or
Yep.
what? Tua Tagovailoa was okay. So I'll SEC football fan, right? I admit that I believe that these players get hurt in college playing for the SEC more than others they because it's beat in their heads that it means more that winning these games. Georgia, Alabama last night was um, the fourth game of the season for Georgia, but it felt like a stinking playoff game. Like and these guys will hurt themselves and put their brain and their body at risk. And rarely does players leave the SEC and go to the NFL and do great. And so because they hurt themselves so much more, and I noticed this a long time ago. Heisman Trophy winners do not do good in the NFL. They might stick around a little while, but they don't. And there's only like 5 all-time Heisman Trophy winners in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I mean, that's a statistic. That's a number that people have to think about.
Mhm.
Why is that? Is it because they hurt themselves and they give everything they got in college and they're done? You know what I mean? Or they get drafted to a crap team, which happens, and get
It's I mean, I was just talking to my wife, Sean, about this today.
I'm good. Georgia came back and lost respectively.
Well, I mean, Syracuse won, but anyway.
Hey, take that hat off because he's a Huskers fan.
Well, see, the
If I
whole thing is
remember
that
right.
this is neutral. That's why I wore this.
No, because Dahlheimer's a Huskers fan.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all you ever talk about in the Navy. Just Husker this, Husker that.
Love you, Joe. It was great for
Hey,
you to
man.
stop by, dude.
Hey, you can come back on and finish it later if you want. If not, that's cool. Love you, man.
So yeah, this is a neutral hat. I was gonna wear my Georgia hat to support my brother, but they lost, and I know it probably hurt his feelings. I was gonna wear my Syracuse hat, but I don't want to throw it in John's face that we won and he
Y'all are
lost.
3-1.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah. Oh, hey, I saw that score. I was like, yes, they won.
and one of my old Navy buddies sent this to me today, so I was like, you know what? I'll be a Nebraska fan right now.
There you
Absolutely,
go.
absolutely.
We're just on here chatting, talking smack, being friendly, just catching up. So if you got something you want to talk about, throw it on the chat.
Yeah, and it all depends. Like I was telling my wife Shauna today, Baker Mayfield. Did he win the Heisman?
Yes.
And who did he get drafted by?
The Browns.
Yes. And he did absolutely terrible. Terrible. He went somewhere else, and now he's in Tampa Bay, and he's doing awesome.
Yeah.
It all depends on where you are, man. I mean,
I agree.
it's just, and plus you have to have a coach that develops you.
Right, for sure.
I mean,
It's
everyone
so
hated Bill
different.
Belichick, but Bill Belichick was one of the greatest developers. Even that big old chunky guy, Kool-Aid man over there in Kansas City, he develops, man. He really does.
I can't stand him. I didn't like him when he was with Philly or anywhere else. I just don't really care for that guy.
Andy Reid's, he eats a lot of hamburgers.
He's good at it too. He's good at and he's good at coaching. He's a really good coach. So I mean, he is. He's a great coach. And and it was what was really interesting was to find out how that Nick Saban and Bill Belichick have known each other for a long time.
That's crazy, isn't it? Brian is a Vikings fan. So is my wife.
I think Brian's a Fairweather fan.
Oh, them's
I
fighting words.
don't remember if he is or not, but
Them's fighting words.
He's definitely an instigator trying to upset me. That's what he's doing.
He's poking the bear.
So when I was in, I don't remember where I was. I can't recall if I was in the Navy or not, but somebody was talking about picking a favorite team in each division, like both conferences, pick a favorite team in each division, and that way it gives you more to like watch. Gives you more to like, especially with baseball. Like pick a favorite team in each division, and so I was looking at the NFC North, and I'm like, well, which team am I going to pick? And so there was a guy in my high school that actually played for the Lions, and so I was like, I'll pick Lions. I don't really care. I'm indifferent with them. It don't really matter. I don't want to pick the Packers because that's what everybody else does, and the Bears is just a disappointment. And I had the luxury of deciding who I was going to pick, and so even still, I can pick a team, but I don't really care. Like if they win, they win. So it's not like it. It's not like I'm a dyed-in wolf. Not with baseball. I did that. Baseball, I jumped in, and that's my team, and I root for that team, and I want them to win every time, unless they're playing the Braves or something else. But like,
I think, I don't know. I think when it comes down to sports, I think baseball is more where you're from regionally. I think a lot of people in football just pick who they like. Like I'm closest to Buffalo. I'm not a Buffalo fan, but I am a Yankees fan.
You Mets fan?
I am not a Mets fan, even though the series.
Do you hate the Mets?
I do not hate the Mets, but I would rather go to a Yankees game than a Mets game. Their minor league team, the Syracuse Mets, we're their minor league team, Syracuse here.
What level?
Double A, Triple A, whatever. I don't know. All I know is that I saw Tebow play here in Syracuse. Yeah.
Did you actually go and watch it?
I did. He walked up and he struck out.
Yeah.
And I screamed, "Better luck next time." That was his last time he went to bat with Syracuse.
It really upset me that he it really upset me that he was went to the Mets. Like, I had to watch him play for Florida for all that time. So when I was in high school, Cal Ripken Jr. was doing all this stuff, and I went into a hat store and they had an Orioles cap. It was the one with the bird. It wasn't like the cartoon bird. It was like the actual bird on it, and it was cheap. It was like $5 or something like that. So I bought it. So it was a different hat, and I was working back in groceries at the grocery store, and this is in Georgia, 95, 96 era, and it was 95. It was season. It was summer 95 because that was the first year of the interleague play, and so this guy come in and he's like, and the older guy, and he said, "You an Orioles fan?" And I'm like, "I'm baseball. I'm a Braves fan, but I love baseball, you know." Like, and we talked for a few minutes. I actually helped him take his groceries out, talked to him, and then he was from Baltimore, and then he moved on. Never saw him again. And about a month later, there's a box came in to the store, and it had a proper hat. It was a fitted hat, and it was the one that they wear now, the cartoon one,
right?
And a shirt and a baseball that had it wasn't really signed by Cal Ripken Jr., but it was kind of stamped, and but it had the Orioles logo on the back of it, and it was a T-shirt and stuff. And so I wrote him a letter and thanking him for it and all that kind of jazz. And then that was the last time. Never corresponded with him. So when I was told I needed to pick a team in each division, then I just like, well, then I'll just take the Baltimore as my East team, just because of that connection I had with that random guy, you know. And
that's a cool story.
And I hate the Yankees, so that was even better. So cool thing about hating the Yankees is
there's no cool thing about hating the Yankees.
There's a lot.
There's not. I mean, if you want to talk about sheer championships, come on.
You know,
Brian, the Yankees, come on.
Back when having the highest payroll actually helped. Now it don't help none. It don't anymore. Oh God, here comes.
CJ.
See, let me tell you the worst thing. I'm gonna say this because he can't respond. The worst thing about Oklahoma, I'm gonna tell you, that's it. Fan base is passionate. That's awesome. They hate Texas. That's awesome. I love that. They hate Texas more than. Do they hate Texas more than A&M? I don't know. It's like a different hatred, but they both hate it. They hate him. The worst thing about Oklahoma is they have one song. They get first down, they play that song. They get 2 yards, play that song. Touchdown, play that song. They have one song the whole time. You hear it. Whatever the song. Georgia has for defense, they have 4 songs. If it's first down, they have a song for first down. You can listen to the music beyond what the announcers are saying, and you can hear what's going on, and you know what down it is simply because of that. And I love that. I love that Georgia, and they do the on fourth down when they're going for it on fourth down, they'll play a rendition of Paint It Black. Da, 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 da. And it's just really cool to hear a college band do that. That's why college football is so much better than NFL. Anyway,
Georgia Tech too, when they enter their stadium, enter Sandman. That's pretty awesome, dude.
They do that too.
Oh yeah, enter Sandman.
Virginia Tech does that.
Oh,
there's a really cool video if you find them. Do you have a song for it? Here we go.
I'm trying to figure out a way to stop you guys hearing my phone, even though it's on silent.
Dahlheimer's saying something and it's hidden behind the.
You have a song for
losses. There's a tear number here. I think Brian's drunk. He's drunk typing.
Michael Murphy, yes, I am from Syracuse. Born and raised, my friend.
Hudson Valley.
I
read a thing about Mr. Hudson recently. It was a pretty interesting article about that guy. They named that river in the bay, and there was another big old body of water or something they named after him. He's like one of the first people in New York. The first white man. Ding 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 ding.
Ding 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 ding.
Michael Martin Murphy. No. Michael Martin. You know who Michael Martin Murphy is, Jay?
I
Not
know.
Michael. Not Michael R. Murphy. That was the guy from our ship. He was the ET on the ship.
Yes, he was.
CJ Huck was the ET too, and he only said one thing, so I must have made him mad when I started making fun of Oklahoma. I'm sorry. They won. Hey, let me tell you something. I even texted him just out of the blue the other day. Like, I hate that I rooted for Oklahoma to beat Tennessee. I hate it. But I was rooting for them to beat Tennessee because I hate Tennessee. I despise Tennessee. Florida, Auburn, Tennessee at the bottom of my list. Roger. Is your middle name Roger? Is that what RGR stands? Sorry.
All right. So
here we go.
I was looking at some stuff right now. We are talking to Brian here because he said the Yankees paid for the championships. Okay. So
I would agree a long time ago.
Well,
long time ago, not now.
Since when? I mean, if we're talking about the modern age baseball.
No, like I'm saying like 20s, 30s, all when they were racking up all them, with Ruth and paying on getting all them big players and I would for sure. But when you get into the 60s, when 70s, when I don't see you can do that anymore. I don't think you can. It's evident since they haven't won one since 09 and they have had the highest payroll since 2000 or since the 90s. They've had the highest payroll, so it doesn't count anymore. I would imagine that back in the day it did.
$40 for Ruth.
I think he's drunk, dude. I seriously.
The whole thing is I think when someone says, they paid for championships, they're just drinking the haterade because it's just basically a business thing.
Yeah.
If you have the money, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, what does the NFL? What does the NFL do? They pay high money for top valuable players.
But there's a cap there. What? That's kind of weird.
In hopes of what though? To win a championship.
Losing in the first round of the playoffs. Dallas Cowboys, number one highest paid payroll in the NFL every year, and they can't get out of the first round if they make it. George did.
Georgie. I love George.
So Hudson Valley, is that New York? Hudson Valley region? Does that mean that he's a Yankee fan? Oh, man, it's already been 50 minutes.
52 in 30 seconds. 31, 32, 33. No, 27 titles the Yankees have won. 27. Sorry, they're the best.
They didn't win any until Babe Ruth. You know that?
Jace panties are bunching up. I'm just throwing out truth there, bud. If you have the money, why not spend it?
Well, and I get it. It is what it is. It is an entertainment factor. It is putting money into it, building a good stadium, getting a good PR. New York. I'll say this: for New York to be as significant in the United States as it is, New York, LA, to be as a significant portion of the United States as they are, I'm really surprised that they haven't won more in every other sport. Like, how's the Mets not won a bunch? How have the Rangers haven't won? Like, the Rangers won in 94.
Right.
And they beat the Canadians in 94. And, like, the Islanders haven't. I mean, the Islanders used to be one of the greatest teams in hockey. They went, like, 9 straight Stanley Cup championships. They went. And they won, like, 7 of them. But all of a sudden, where do they go? It's New York. They should have the money. The LA should be it should be New York and LA every year, simply in the amount of publicity and the money and everything that comes from it. West Point. I was in West Point a couple years ago doing line work.
Well, Mike Murphy's from Wallkill. Is that near? My sister used to live in a place called Fishkill. It was down there yonder way.
It's near Nürnberg.
Is it near Fishkill, Wallkill? Brian, the Yankees don't suck. You suck. I sound like Biden now. You suck. You're the loser.
Hey, I had a teenager at church break my heart the other day.
What happened?
He told me that
the Braves suck.
He told me that I know that. I don't need him to tell me that. He told me that the Sandlot was made in 93.
Uh-huh.
Took place in 62.
Yep.
Right? So that's 31 years. 93 was 31 years ago.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to bed.
Not the Yankees, the other team John mentioned. Which one? The Mets? I hate the Mets. Beat the Mets. Hate the Mets. I think it's really cool about.
I think New York has too many teams.
They got that many people though.
No,
It's okay,
I mean,
they don't even have that many teams. Two of them are in Jersey, so they don't count.
Yeah, the two football teams that play in Jersey. I mean, what do you got? You got Buffalo Bills, who I think are the true New York team because they actually play in New York.
For sure, my favorite New York team.
The Giants, the Jets. For hockey, you got the Rangers, you got the Islanders.
I'd say they're my favorite New York team of all sports outside of Syracuse.
My friend. Okay.
I caught that last second. Almost got myself in trouble.
For basketball, we got Brooklyn and we got the Knicks. And that just is. And
you have the Nets now. The Nets are in Brooklyn.
In baseball, we got the Yankees and the Mets. Dude, that's nine teams just for a few sports. That's way too many.
Yeah.
Way too many.
Do you know what state in the United States has the most championships in professional sports?
In professional sports?
All professional. So take your top 4.
It's got to be California.
Nope.
Really? Texas?
No. Give you one more guess. Think.
Florida?
You will not like it. No, it's not Florida. It's Massachusetts.
I can see that.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
the Bruins and the
Yankees, Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. Used to be the
Jay-Z bought the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah. So
hey, I think it was good moving them back to New York.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Did you watch any of the WNBA this year?
Why would I?
Because I mean, there's a big old hype. Caitlin Clark, all that stuff. It was like the biggest year they ever had. It was bigger than the year they started. They like everywhere that girl went to play basketball, they sold out. She never played this year inside of an arena missing seats. They were all sold out the whole year. Crazy.
I don't know if anybody can relate to what I'm about to say, but the older I get, the more it seems like, one, sports don't matter as much, because I think I've watched 3 Yankee games this year. That's it. And I'm a Yankee fan. And 2, I have no more space in my life for drama. So if I'm watching a WNBA game and there's drama around it, I'm turning that shit off. Excuse me for swearing, but it's the truth. I have no more time in my life. I got a beautiful wife, 4 great kids, and that's my focus, man. You know,
I'm cool with that. I don't watch it near like I used to. No, the New Jersey Nets moved to Brooklyn.
Yes,
about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago. I took a hiatus from sports for a while, like 4 years. I didn't watch anything. And when I came back, the Supersonics moved to Oklahoma. All kinds of crazy stuff happened. NASCAR changed. Baseball.
I mean, even look what's going on in football, bro. I mean, you can't even watch a football game without seeing Taylor Swift. There's just so much drama, dude. You know, let the players play the game. Who cares what's going on with Kelsey and Swift? You know, maybe 15-year-old girls do. I don't. You know what I mean?
Money.
And Brian, you're right. He said, I'd rather watch grass grow. But yeah, I guess it's about money, ratings and money. It's weird.
And so like NBC, so NASCAR has Fox in the first half of the year and NBC in the second half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And they like it's the networks that determine when the races are. Like what time of day it is. It's all done, whether they race on Saturday or Sunday. Obviously, there's traditional like races that have to be on this day, and they can't really mess with that. But like today, they raced in Kansas, and it was an earlier race, which is good. But like a lot of times, they have like later races, and they get some interferes with like watching other stuff, and it's not NASCAR that decides; it's the networks that decide. So, on that same idea, yeah,
Underwood.
Chris. I'm not that far from believing that, and it breaks my heart. Like when I found out that wrestling was fake, I was just devastated.
Wrestling is not fake. You take that back.
It is.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. It's
Hulk
sports
Hogan is
entertainment.
awesome.
He is awesome, and him being awesome is not fake. It's just that when well, here's something that I'm wondering, because when they get under the booth and they're looking and they're talking to the on replays, they're not talking to New York anymore. They're talking to Vegas. They care about where the over under is, and you watching a player ran out of bounds the other day at the 1 yard line last weekend, and everybody was upset, and because he didn't score, it messed up the over under, and that's all ESPN could talk about. They won the game though. Why are you worried about the over under? Why am I having to hear that? Watching,
Money.
It's all about that.
Just like Chris just said, that Swift brought a ton of money into the sport. She did.
Oh, I thought she was talking about Caitlin. Okay, well, yeah, and she did. I mean, a lot of people are watching NFL now because Taylor Swift's on TV.
So I am really willing to learn.
They do right turns more, Brian. They race on oval tracks all the time, or road tracks. Sorry.
So I am willing to learn. Being from the Northeast, you'll never really hear us say this. There's not a big fan base for NASCAR up here, but I am willing to learn the rules and sit down and watch a race. I am.
Y'all got a track in New York? Watkins Glen.
We do. Oh yeah. I mean, that's just a drunk fest. People really don't care.
That place is sold out every time. That was a great race too this year. That was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
So I am willing, if anybody has time to talk to me and tell me about the rules and regulations and what do's and don'ts. I don't see if there's a lot of rules. You drive in a circle.
So let's look. I'm gonna defend. Hey, I want to mute somebody. I want to mute every one of y'all. Anyway, the all basketball is 5 guys trying to put a ball in a hole, and 5 guys trying to stop them. That's all it is. All baseball is 9 guys trying to keep 1 guy from making it to the home plate. That's all it is. If you break down any sport to its most basic what it is, then it's obviously simple and it's easy. It's just, like Brian says, simple rule drive. That's all it is. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But look at the fact that in the last 10 years, they've taken pit stops from 12 seconds to 9 seconds. They can change 4 tires and give you 14 gallons of fuel in 9 seconds. Like
how is that even possible? What kind of flow rate does that have?
Well, fast. It's got
9 seconds, 14 gallons.
Yeah. Well, now it is nothing, and there's only so many.
Fact check that, please, Chris.
You don't need Chris. You got Jonathan right here.
Mike, Brian, 14 gallons in 9 seconds. Has to be something pushing that.
It's just the way this is a huge. I'm gonna try to find it. I don't know how.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Oh yeah, perfect. Pause it. That way I can bring it over here and share it.
See? Bring it over here, see?
Share screen. Fastest pit stop in history. NASCAR. Let's start it over. Watch it. Here we go. This is Kurt. 2 tires on the outside. Drops jack. See, he's filling the gas tank right there on the bottom. Right there, he's filling the gas. And then gone.
So that was 9 seconds.
Yep. That was 4 tires and fuel. Now, let's. I'm gonna have to show you this because it's the right thing to do. Is F1. F1 is ridiculous.
That stands for Formula One, correct?
Yes. Now this is a totally different ball of wax. Totally. Come on. Where you at?
So how does F1 differ from NASCAR?
Look how many guys there are out there. And they're all set up. Look, and he's only getting 10 gallons of fuel.
Okay, you would have to pay me double right there. There's no way I'd be there.
Come on now. I'm having to wait forever for We're having to wait forever. I don't know. Hey, watch this. Here we go. Up. 4 tires, fuel gone.
How long was that? How many?
It's less than 3 seconds.
Okay, how many gallons of fuel was fed to that car?
I think that's 10.
Holy crap!
Let me back it up a little more. There we go. Watch it again. See, I don't even know where the fuel's going. I've been trying to figure that out for years. Like, how are they putting gas in that thing? They might not have put gas in that stop, but it still is pretty crazy. Like, so there's so much to it. Man, there's so much to this thinking. There's so
Brian,
many, like,
I
there's a
want to
guy.
shoot him in the face.
There's a guy in it's gas. It's still gas. There's a guy on the roof that's watching the whole track. I mean, it's a team sport, and what makes NASCAR different. One of the things, obviously, that it's an engine, and there's the guys who build it. There's the guys who travel with it. There's the guys who work on it at the track. There's the guys who do all this stuff. But at no time ever in any other sport do you have every single team in the whole organization at the same place at the same time. The Mets are playing the Braves in New York. The Dodgers are playing the Giants in San Francisco. They're not all in one place at the same time. The entirety of the sport is together today, and the B leagues, or the Xfinity, which is the lower level, used to be called the Busch League. They raced yesterday, and then the Truck Series raced the day before that. So everybody's there, and makes for a great weekend, makes for a good time. I've watched it for years. I've enjoyed it. I love it. It's good on our next episode.
Brian's picking on you, bro.
Yeah. So without moonshine, there would be no NASCAR. How about that?
So, how Mike brings up a good point. How many guys were there on that F1 pit stop?
Oh, that's a good point. Let me pull it back.
Quickly, just by looking, I'd say about 15.
1, 2,
20.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Jeez. 21 guys.
Yeah. They better be able to do it that fast. Shoot me in the face, really tire changes. Well, I don't know if I can handle Dahlheimer. Brian was like, he got to the ship the same day I did. And so me and him was like, we were tied in there together. He went on and made chief, senior chief, whatever, I don't know. He made khaki. So he was fun to talk to. We spent a lot of time in combat talking.
I would like to know,
and on the smoke deck,
if anybody out there that's listening, Chris, Brian,
is anybody listening?
Me, if you are. Obviously, Lake Champlain has been decommissioned.
Yeah.
Is there any way to get memorabilia from that ship? Any?
Megan Santiago. I don't know who that is.
That is Shauna's sister. Hi, Meg. It's my wife's sister. It's my sister-in-law. Yeah, I'd like to get some memorabilia from that ship. I'd like to know exactly where that ship went.
I heard
what do they do with decommissioned ships?
Depends. They sometimes sell them to other countries, and sometimes they turn them into razor blades. Sometimes, remember, they sink them, make coral reefs out of them. Not official merch. Oh, Adam Hardy. You can go on to Amazon and just punch in USS Lake Champlain, and there's tons of stuff you can get there. I'm thinking not official though.
I'm thinking like a piece of the handrail, that kind of stuff. Like not a shirt that some rigmarole just printed up.
I have some. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I get you. Rigmarole. What's a rigmarole?
I don't know. It's just something I thought about. But I know the Gunners mates used to make this. They used to cut a small piece of the bottom of the gunpowder casing.
Yeah. And
grind it down and polish it really nice and stick a ship's coin in the middle of it. Kind of like an ashtray in a way. It was awesome. The Gunners mates on the ship used to do that all the time. Underwood, where you at?
Brian Dahlheimer is on he's bent to just offend everybody tonight. Handrail. It's called a lifeline. Jay. Don't lean on the lifeline.
Yeah, let's send me a harpoon launcher there, Bri.
Ashtray, yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Was Underwood a gunner's mate? I don't
Yes, he
remember.
was.
Okay,
He was a gunner's mate.
gunner's mate. West Coast. Probably towed to Washington State near Bremerton. Yeah, I would imagine it's on that side of the ocean. They probably wouldn't drag it all the way around, but it's pretty cool. Anyway,
Anywho, all
we
right.
got a. So I don't know. For those of you who are still paying attention, these are intended to be these silly conversations, the lives. We're going to get into some like personal kind of stuff. We'll have it on the actual podcast part. Honestly, I don't know. I'm open for whatever. It might turn into this. The whole podcast might turn into this, and if it does, it does. But we are on the we are on the YouTube and Facebook right now. We are on podcasting on the podcasting platforms. And
Hello, Lewis.
who is it? Louis.
Lewis is my brother-in-law.
Oh,
Brian, we got to talk, bro. How much you want that bell for?
you did. You want a chief? You don't get the bill. Didn't get the bill. So Underwood, how long did you stay in the Navy? I'm trying to remember. I think looking at his pictures one time, it looked like he was wearing a combination hat, like he'd been in for a while. I'm really glad that I'm really glad that Facebook exists, so I can see what people. Not for sale. Yeah, everything's for sale.
Everyone's got its price. Who used to say that?
I don't know.
Since we're
Brian
talking
got
about
it.
wrestling, everybody's got its price.
I was a WCW guy, so was it a WCW?
No.
Okay, so
Anybody who used to say that? Brian
Stole it
Soul
fair and
Fair
square.
Square.
just like that flag back there, I stole it fair and square too.
Chris just told you he was in for 8 years. So he did 4 and signed up for another 4, obviously. Sweet.
Oh,
That's
wow.
$1 million man, by the way, who used to say everybody's got a price.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You still watch wrestling?
No. I couldn't. Once the Undertaker retired, there goes my childhood, dude. You know? It's like off with the old and with the new.
Did the Chiefs won, so they're 4-0. Did
I hate the Chiefs. Yes, Ted DiBiase.
Wait, why do you hate the Chiefs? Why do you hate the Chiefs?
The Kansas City?
Yeah, why do you hate the Chiefs for? What'd they do to you?
Kelsey. I hate Kelsey. The whole Kelsey.
So it's okay for you to hate the Chiefs, but I can't hate the Patriots. You get all
You
mad.
can hate whoever you want. That's your God-given right to not like what you want. You know, I might disagree with you.
I don't hate anybody but the Dallas Cowboys. I don't, and honestly, I don't hate them. It's their stinking fans, and I think the worst fans and the worst fans in the NFL are the Eagles fans, hands down.
I don't hate the Chiefs, Adam, because they win. I hate the Chiefs because of Kelsey. I do.
So if they traded Kelsey, you'd be. I want to go to Arrowhead though. I want to go once.
I think he's very arrogant, and I don't do well with arrogant people.
I think Adam Hardy. I think he's from Raytown, Missouri. That's where Mama's Family. Remember TV show Mama's Family?
Missouri?
Kansas City's in Missouri.
Back in the day, they say Missouri.
I'm not. I'm from Georgia, so we say Missouri.
Missouri.
I also say Louisiana, and people get upset about that too. So Louisiana, not Louisiana. I don't say New Orleans either.
And Brian, you're right. The refs do bail them out. I see a lot of missed calls on Chiefs games. A lot.
Yeah, that's right. I thought Adam was from that area, but yeah, and I think that's where
that's another thing, though. I mean, if everyone's being politically correct, you know, Indians changing their names to Guardians, why aren't we talking about the Chiefs here?
Because then they'll change the Braves too. We don't need that. Honestly, the Indians are the ones that did that. Cleveland's the one that made that decision. Major League Baseball didn't do that. The Redskins changing their name, that was not NFL doing that. That was all the ownership trying to not create more issues, but it wound up losing a lot of fans over it, which I think is silly. It's your team. It's your team. I don't like. I hate people who swap teams just for S and Gs. I don't like that. Don't swap teams. So
Don't team jump like Brian. Sorry, Delheimer. If it looks like a duck, it looks like a duck.
Is that taking their? Yeah,
that's exactly right, Meg.
Well, most of the people in the United States who should be offended by that were actually upset that they took it away.
Well, yeah, I have natives in my family. I have relatives that are native, and they could care less.
Really,
they actually liked the team because they could relate. So.
But they have the tomahawk.
The guy that was on the Redskins helmet was a real warrior. He was a real chief.
Yeah.
Got taken off. So
yeah, he was the same guy from the nickel.
Yes, the Indian head nickel.
But what was that? That was weird.
Everyone's offended nowadays, man.
Yeah, I ain't got time for it. Not too much of this. Christopher Gunner.
Where is he?
I don't know. He just popped up on something. Yeah, because what I'm curious about, like when the Atlanta Braves, early '90s, they got Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders played at Florida State. They brought the tomahawk chop to the Atlanta, so we started doing tomahawk chop, early '90s. But I know that Kansas City's done it a long time. I know that Florida State's done it. I don't know who's done it longer. I would imagine Florida State's probably done it longer. But what was a really cool story. And we didn't get to go. It was a Sunday game. Florida State played Georgia Tech on Saturday, football. And the Atlanta Braves, this is like 95, 94, a long time ago. Oh, it could have been 94 because it struck that year. But they requested that the Florida State band stay in Atlanta and go to the Braves game and do the tomahawk chop. So it wasn't the recording. It was the actual Florida State band in the stands doing the music, which was really cool. Like, I thought that was pretty neat that they did that. So, and I root for Florida State simply because they hate Florida too. And they suck this year, but enemy of an enemy is a friend, especially in college football.
True.
So that's why I root for Alabama over Auburn.
Adam, you said
Auburn.
Adam said not named after an Indian. It was a mayor's nickname when the team moved to Dallas. Who are you talking about, bud?
The Chiefs.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Chiefs was originally in Dallas, and they were called the Dallas Texans. And then they moved to Kansas City. Now, I might have got that backwards. No, I'm pretty sure that's right. It's pretty cool. Like, it's a love-hate relationship. That's a fact. Vikings, I like the Vikings.
Is here. Vikings, Brian.
So through the whole skull thing, that they do, which is cool.
I actually think that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. I'd like to go see that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite traditions, and like that. I like that teams have those. But yeah, it was kind of cool reading all that. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how I know that, but I do.
Because you're a plethora of information.
Useless information.
Plethora of information.
If it's important, it does not stay.
Brian, are you Viking? Are you Scandinavian? Or is it just because you like them?
He was a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan. He's a Minnesota Vikings fan. He's a New York Yankees fan. And that made him mad. Good.
Well, actually, my youngest son, Cody, he said, "Daddy, do I have to like the Patriots?" And I said, "No. There's a reason why your dad likes the Patriots." He's like, "Well, what team did your dad like?" I said, "My dad liked the Bills." He's like, "I want to be a Bills fan." I was like, "Buddy, you can be whatever fan you want to." So
you can't hang that crap up in my house,
right? Well, not my oldest, but my second oldest son, Luke's like, "Dad, I kind of like the Lions." So what we did as a family, we sat down and we chose teams that we want to follow.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My wife was like, I think because I'm Scandinavian, I want to be a Vikings fan. I was like, okay, be a Vikings fan. That's cool. Luke's like, Dad, I really like the Lions. I really do. I was like, awesome, like the Lions. Sethi, he's our angel. He's nonverbal autistic, so he's going to be a Patriots fan with Daddy. He has no choice. But whenever the Patriots do play, he does come and sit next to me and watch.
Yeah.
So that's
So
why.
they pick teams that's never played in the Super Bowl. Imagine that.
Right? Yeah. Well, and Cody, he said, Daddy, I don't know. I think I like the Jets. I was like, buddy, there's 3 teams where you cannot like to live in this house.
The Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins.
I said any other teams are fine. 3 teams you cannot like. You cannot like the Jets, you cannot like the Ravens, and you cannot like the Chiefs.
The Ravens?
Yes, I hate the Ravens.
Interesting.
I don't like them. I was like, any team besides those 3 teams, you can like. If you like any of those 3 teams, you're going to have to live with somebody else. He was like, okay, Daddy, I like the Bills. I was like, okay, good for you, buddy.
I'm the only one in my house that watches sports. None of my kids watch at all. So I'm by myself. That's
Christopher Gunter, your wife is a very smart woman. I don't know about the decision to marry you, but to marry the Patriots to like the Patriots is a very good decision.
Named after Peyton Manning.
Oh, that's cool.
I gotta go. It's time. We stayed on here way longer than I thought we would.
Man, yeah, holy crap!
But hey, when you got good feedback and that's what happens. That's okay.
All right, everybody. We did
9:00 Central.
We did do a podcast.
Yes.
Jonathan's editing. Yep, Jonathan's going to edit it and he's going to put it out there. He's the brains behind all this stuff. I'm just
also, let me do this real fast before we go. I'm just want to ask. If you don't, then right there. There's our QR code for not GoFundMe. It's a Cash App. It would help.
Donation that you make.
It would help to have some more equipment. Yeah. If not, that's fine. I ain't worried about it.
Any donation that you make, if you decide to, it goes straight to equipment and all that stuff. So we can upgrade and do more of this. But the new episode should be coming out shortly. And give us feedback. Follow us on our Facebook pages. Write a review. That's one thing we wanted to ask.
Yes, please.
If you guys can write a review. And let us know what you'd like to hear, what we're not doing, what we are doing, what you like, what you don't like. And go New England.
And if you're a praying type of person, please pray for Western North Carolina, East Tennessee right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, I got to go.
All right, Mr. Gunter, good seeing you. Mr. Murphy, good. Delheimer.
Brian,
Underwood, if you're still there, Megan, thank you for stopping by.
Now Brian has to come on and do an episode with us. There's no doubt about it.